was looking at some documentation and that mastering point one.
Yes.
And can you talk? Can if that's this? Can you talk about it or?
Yeah.
Point one. I mean, like there is a lot. I don't know if I can cover all of it in 30 minutes, but that was something that I was when I was trying to prepare.
Right.
That didn't quite. The other the like 12 o'clock is point to. That I didn't quite
Okay.
understood it.
Okay. So it's a very let's understand it this way, right? Maybe I can do a screen share. How come it's not showing the whiteboard, the Zoom interface?
I mean, while you bring that up, right?
Yeah.
While you bring that up, can I say something else also?
Sure. Please go ahead.
So I was looking at some pictures, and then it shows all the other points around, and it explains like 12 o'clock position is point 2, that's color red, and then 3 o'clock is point 3, that's color white. Is it just explaining where the points are, or what is their importance to, what is their relation to point 1?
Okay. So
that got me a little.
Sure. So
and then the rotation clockwise.
Correct. So all the five points in the what you call the lower region, it is called Pinda. Pinda. Pinda means body. Body, mind, and soul put together is Pinda. Or you can put it simply body and mind. So in the Pinda or the heart region, in English translation, heart region is not an exact translation of the Pinda, but in the heart region, we have these 5 points. And all these 5 points in the heart region are made from 5 elements, signifies 5 elements. So the first point signifies earth, and the second point ether, or you can also call it space, and the third point is fire, and the fourth point is water, and the fifth point is air. So the general idea when you talk about these elements, you cannot have a pure earth element. Earth has to have also other 3 elements. So in the ancient scriptures and also from the discoveries of Babuji, when you take a point, so there is a predominant point, you can say this is point 1, which is earth, correct? And then it has to have all other 4 elements other than earth also. So if you go up, then this is second point. So this is an easy way to remember. So and then you travel like this, 3, 4, and 5. Suppose if there is a predominantly third point, so you go up and put number 4 here. and then 5, and then it has to become 1 and 2. So now if you see this is the 12 o'clock position is 2. What is this? This is a 3 o'clock position, 6 o'clock position, and 9 o'clock position. So that's what the clock positions, I mean, this is like for an explanation's sake, right? But what it basically means is this 0.1 takes the entire half, it takes, I mean, from the qualitatively it takes the half of it, and rest all the other points take the other half. But it's a mixture combination. So the predominant earth element here on the first point, then the second is ether, space, third is fire, fourth is water, and fifth is air. Correct? So this is how the points are. Now, if I have to draw it a little differently, right? I wish they give us a very clear the whole drawing, and then I'll tell you how the clockwise and anti-clockwise movements happen. Probably I did this several times with the folks. So if I have to draw, this is our meditation symbol, right? Now think of this as first point, second point, third point, fourth point, and fifth point. Now see the strike, how it is going. It is going this way. So that means at the first point, the movements are clockwise. And then it shifts to anti-clockwise. And then again it shifts to clockwise. And then it shifts to anti-clockwise. And then here it goes clockwise. And fifth is special. It can go either way because this is an air element. So this is how the clockwise and anti-clockwise movements happen. And within the first point, if you draw a line, you see this is lower and upper. So there is a lower region and upper region. So the lower region is known as the lower consciousness. Within a point there is a lower consciousness and an upper consciousness. So when we move from the lower to the upper, and again here there is a clockwise and anti-clockwise within the points, right? So when the upper region, when we move to the upper region within the point, that is what is called mastering the point. This mastering is it's a word. I actually don't like calling this as mastering the point. It basically means we have completed that point. That means we thoroughly merged into the condition of that point. Here, when we talk about mastering in heartfulness terms, means its completion, merger. So we merge into this point completely. Our conscious state merges. So the upper and lower also dissolves. Is there a question? Someone wants to
No, I just coughed.
Okay. So
what I see, excuse me, what I see, in the cycle that we go in the meditation goes like infinite going through the elements.
okay. So that infinity kind of have to be understood little differently.
Oh,
Okay. See, I'm not saying what you are saying is wrong. All that I'm trying to present is how I see it or how I understood it. Correct? So when we talk about time in broader terms, how we look at time has passed and time has future. Okay. I'm not calling it present. For us, time is always past and the future. We are never thinking in terms of present. It's a very important concept we need to understand what is meditation. So time has past and future, no present, because we are not thinking time in terms of present. Correct? But what happens is in meditation, the mind comes into a state of present. When it comes to the state of present, what happens is it ignores all the qualities of life. So in present, there is no quality. In present, there is no time. In present, it is ready to absorb all the possibilities. That's why it is important to bring this mind to present, because only the possibilities are created, manifested in the present. Past is already happened. You cannot go back and manifest. It is not like traveling back in time. And future has not happened anyway. And you cannot go to the future also. So the present is only what is available, but we ignore it. We live in the past and future projections and past happenings. So we suffer the past, we suffer the future. Suffering is nothing but projecting the past into the future is suffering. If I have to give a definition for suffering. So suffering is nothing but projecting the past into the future. But when we come to the present, there is no suffering, neither joy nor happiness, nothing. Now we have gone into a state. This being in present is nothing but bringing the mind into infinite state, because in this presence there are infinite possibilities. Do I make sense? So don't think of infinity as something like huge, something extraordinary. We can make it happen today, now, if you understand it correctly. So there are infinite possibilities. So we are in infinity when it comes to presence. So in this present, because this omniscience, when we say God is all time, it is there all the time, it is there everywhere. This omniscient and omnipresent being, the connecting with that omniscient, omnipresent being. Omniscient means infinity. So infinity in time, infinity in space. I can become one with it only if I can come to the present. So when I am in present, I am infinity in space, I am infinity in time. You see how the infinity can be looked at? Does that make sense? So that is what we do in meditation. In meditation, all the time we are projecting ourselves to something which we are not in the future. We are thinking about all these possibilities. We are unnecessarily suffering the future. What will happen? Will recession going to come? Who is going to win the elections? What's going to happen? All these unnecessary things we engage in, we indulge in, and we miss the value of the present. Right? So the best thing we do in meditation is, how do I bring the mind to present? We don't have to force, oh, I'm not thinking of the past, oh, I'm not thinking of the future. Then you're troubling yourself, even by stopping the past thoughts or future projections. We allow the mind, we just wait with the supposition that I'm connecting with this higher essence. Where is this higher essence? In the present. And I'm waiting. When in this waiting, the mind slips into present. What Daji puts it as meditative state. Mind goes into a meditative state. What is a meditative state? It is present. What is samadhi? Samadhi is also present. So here, neither the thought or anything has no value when the mind comes into the present. So if I say, oh, I'm having lots of thoughts during meditation, let them be there. If you want to stop those thoughts, you can never become present.
Shrikant, I don't understand that at all.
Okay, thank you. Why I'm saying thank you is, every time a lot of people, whenever I'm speaking, that's a common thing I get. I'm not following you. But I'll explain it again.
In terms of present, you said when you're talking about time, you're saying there is no present, there's only the past and the future, but there is a present. Right now, I'm talking to you and I'm being present right here and now.
Correct. But what's happening is our present is based on the past and based on the future. The mind is not coming to present. When it comes to present, there is no language there. There is no talking, there is no thought. Because now it goes into infinite possibilities. It is ready to absorb this entire infinite divine essence into a singular state. So that is the kind of present.
So if my work is a meditative state, am I in infinite possibilities?
Yes. So whenever mind goes into that state, it comes to a present state. Present state is not something actionable. See, because the problem, the understanding the present is because we want to make it into an actionable state. It is not an actionable
What
state.
do you mean it's not actionable? It is actionable.
No.
I mean, I'm telling myself to be present.
Yeah, then it is. Then you can never.
I'm in the flow. I tell myself to be in the flow, and therefore I'm present.
Correct. You see, I'm nodding my head because if you say you want to be in the present, you're not in the present. The act of saying I want to be in the present is not present. So present is something which happens by itself, not because I think of bringing my mind to present. Okay, it happens.
Are you talking
that's what I'm
about?
saying. You're on the flow.
You are on the flow. If
you're in the flow, then you're present.
No, again, mathematically, if I have to define present is a continuous now. Mathematically, if I have to define. But from a very spiritual, meditative standpoint.
I got a new one anyway.
Yeah, go ahead, Cliff. Go ahead, say
yes. Are you talking about present in terms of meditative present as opposed to living present or working present?
Okay. So in a living present.
I mean, is that what you're referring to? Like when you meditate, that present you don't experience because it's just happening. And as you process it, it becomes past. Or are you talking about also inclusive of our everyday life present?
Okay. So now I kind of started the definition of present being an infinite, being omniscience, omnipresent, right? From that perspective, if you see, a present is not a concept of time. So if you remove this concept of time from the perspective, then the present makes sense. If you look at it from a very timely perspective, the flow of life, existential perspective, then the present is not possible. The kind of present I am referring to is not possible. So this is not about an existential presence or mental presence. This is about a state of being. So when we are talking about a state of being, then what happens is, in that state of being, I am one with that essence itself. Now, what is the quality of the essence? Quality of the essence is beyond time, beyond physical existence. If you hear the recent talks, God is not an object. So, even though God is not an object, we say our object of meditation is that essence. But to kind of understand, to basically comprehend, but in a real sense, that which is not and that which is, how do you define it? How do you conceptualize it? So that which cannot be conceptualized, that which cannot be felt, that which cannot be known, that is the state of mind where the present happens. In that presence, it becomes a total witness. So the witness here is not an existence. It's not an existential witness. It is a witness of something of a high order. So that is the presence we are trying to bring the mind into by not doing anything actually. So it is not an actionable thing, but we allow it to happen. As the meditation progresses, the mind slips into that present. That's why we don't have to work too hard on mastering a point or becoming one with it. When you put all these concepts in front of you while meditating, present is not possible. You see where I'm going? So don't think in terms of a very time, don't put this present into a time capsule nor existential capsule. It is going beyond. That beyond is infinity. That infinity is the samadhi. That infinity is that essence. We cannot either qualify it, quantify it. It is totally attributeless. That is the merger when it happens with every point is called mastering it. So in one way, I'm answering what is infinity. In one way, I'm answering what is mastering. Make sense? So sometimes
Yes,
these concepts are
yes.
difficult to follow, but at the same time, remove the physical, mental, and time constructions. Then you will see a different perspective to it. Okay.
Okay, what I understand is, we make it too much analytical statements about why this, why that. I think that's the most simple thing. Closing the eyes and relax and breathe and go to the infinite, go to the essence.
Right. Yes.
And not asking questions, because I see one thing is human being, we make a questions, we just confuse ourselves too much questions.
No, that's
if we
fine.
go to the simple.
Yeah, it's the question is a way of knowing, but slowly
Right.
meditation
But
is way of becoming. So it's always, there's a in-between state. We are always in between state. We are always in between knowing and becoming. So which is fine. Otherwise, the journey, we cannot cherish it. We cannot enjoy it. So that's why questioning is as important as, kind of going into a state where the answer appears. Okay. So.
Okay.
All right.